Hello, everyone. This is Alchemy. This is my channel. Alchemy is Alchemy. Welcome. I hope everybody is doing okay. I wanted to have a conversation real quick about Luigi Galvani. It has been a theme as of my last few videos. There's this guy is fascinating. Okay, Luigi Galvani is a scientist from like the 1700s. He also inspired galvanism. He inspired the movie Frankenstein. There is a remake to Frankenstein that's coming out this fall, baby. I'm going to be watching it with a like fine tooth comb, honey. I want the mic. Give me the spyglass, okay? I want to get into all of the details when it comes to this movie, right? I'm geeked. I'm totally geeked, okay? Because there's been a lot of references to Luigi Galvani, who's the godfather and person who inspired the term galvanism. And what is galvanism? All right, I like to just kind of start off with that because I think it's a term that a lot of us kind of are familiar with. This guy basically inspired it because essentially shocking someone is basically if this is what galvanism is, I should say, okay? If you're shocking or if you're inducing a stimulus of some sort that makes somebody feel away, angry, happy, upset, don't matter, confused, frustrated, whatever, right? But you're kind of pulling the strings a little bit to make them feel that way because you know they're going to take a particular action. Okay. It's like marketing, advertising, like that's what it gives to me too, right? Because if I know if I show a person this, that, and the third, it'll make them feel like this, they're going to then feel inclined to buy or inclined to donate or inclined to vote or inclined to support or inclined to sign a petition, right? Whatever you're being galvanized to do, okay? Because it happens often a lot in the Western world. And this guy's the person who inspired it, Mr. Luigi Galvani himself, okay? Put some respect on the Virgos. Put some respect on that. Okay, September the 9th, this gentleman was born, 1700s at some time. I don't, you see it on there, right? So this guy basically, he's got a lot of attributes, but essentially he became infamous for this trick that he played on people. So he discovered that this is legit. He discovered that before we understood about the electricity that flows through the body, right? He discovered you can make dead frogs' legs move with by shocking them. Okay, so the shock to make the legs move, right? Now, Galvani took it even further, right? Essentially selling the idea that this discovery proved there was a life fluid, and that fluid that was making the limbs move with the electric stimulus, if it could be contained, he could then replicate it or basically use that to reanimate the dead, right? He, bring back things to life, all right? So it's already wild that he's making these dead frogs move, and you throw that in the pot, right? Bro was a clout chaser, okay? Luigi Galvani was like the first clout chaser, right? Like he was really getting people hype, right? He had impact, and what was cool about his impact too is that, I mean, it didn't because there were people who didn't believe him. There were people who were like, of course, like, yo, dude, like, even if you could bring somebody back, should you do that, right? Like, so there were people who were dismiss the idea, but many just were like, basically, no matter how you looked at it, you were kind of impacted by Luigi Galvani. Okay, let me just say that, right? So, naysayers and supporters alike. All right. And it's also said that he did not believe this idea. He knew that you could not bring people back to life by doing that. But he got a bag. Okay. Not only that, like his name is solidified like that, right? Like they gave him a word. Whoop, looks like you got Galvani. Okay. Galvanizing. This man is the Godfather OG. Okay. Now, the reason why I have come to you all today, okay, the reason why we've gathered here is to talk about how the corporate overlords again have worked with media. All right, to talk about the Starbucks situation. Okay, so as of right now, there have been some people nervous that their latte won't be ready. They may have to make a different route to go ahead and get that double shot, okay? Because they were taking shots literally at Starbucks and their employees, like closing down. I was thinking like it was going to be like a really mass closure, and maybe it is, right? This is affecting 900 people, so they say, closing hundreds of stores, and so I'm like, okay, wow, this is different Starbucks, right? They're very known for, I guess, more hospitableness when it comes. I mean, it just feels like a cool place, right? I mean, they write your name on the cup. Like, who's writing smiley faces on the drive-through bag out the window? Starbucks does. Okay, they know your name. It's the closest daggum thing we got to Cheers for our generation of millennials and like Gen X and Z's and shit like that. Like, it's a thing. Okay, even the boomers, they're here for a little Starbucks. Okay, they like to have a little green tea chill. That said, for this to happen so abruptly was kind of wild, and it caught my attention. It shocked me. Okay. I was a little galvanized. Okay. I'm seeing folks pack up and stuff. I'm like, for real? What? So then I started to research and I'm like, they offering severance pay like for a week and a half. Starbucks, can we do better? Now, I mean, I ain't fun. Like, anytime I went, I always tip. That's why I kind of got annoyed with Starbucks. 'Cause I was like, dang, I always supposed to tip. They ain't bringing me shit. I'm in the drive through. What are they doing? Putting it out there? Like, I'm tipping for that? Anyway. Moving along. Okay. I don't want to get triggered. I was just very vested, right? So then I started to research, and then all of a sudden it said, boom, okay, let me see what a boss said. Okay. Now, this guy is the CEO. His name is Brian Niccol. All right. Handsome, just white collar, just look like a solid dude, right? Strong chin line, probably just I, hey, jawline is looking good. I think that maybe, Brian Niccol, maybe there's some things that they're running into. And then I start to think a little bit deeper, okay? Because I'm like, y'all just built, they're building up stores. They got like these Starbucks stores now in areas they hadn't even had like in areas before, right? So they're definitely like expanding. And I said, you know what? Let me do some research. Let me get into some things, right? Let me figure out if the coffee houses of America are truly safe. Okay. Because it's been a while, 2025. I don't know what's going to happen. Okay. But I said, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get to investigating. So this is where I'm at, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Brian Niccol. All right. Who is the CEO? He came on as CEO September the 9th of 2024. Now, interestingly enough, September the 9th, right, is also the day that Luigi Galvani is born. Okay. Now, here's the thing, too. Here's the thing. Because I've been doing this for a minute. I want to go a little bit further with this, right? Let's talk about Luigi Mangione. Now, he also galvanized the world, okay? Um, corporate greed is corporate greed, but like often somebody, like often the CEO, okay? Like he got to a CEO in this case. Um, just ran up on dude, got him out of here on December the 4th, right? And this shocked the world because, of course, people were collectively, a lot of us, I mean, a lot of us are just burnt out, right? Sick of trying to continue managing the effects of corporate greed. And in a real personal way, right? Like it's hitting you. This inflation ain't no joke. I don't, it's a lot going on, right? But all that being said, like he does this act, it's shocking. It makes people want to take action. Some people supported him, some people didn't. He became a heartthrob, hottie, it was a lot of sensation around Luigi, which kind of got me on the ball with looking up like famous Luigis, and I was led to Luigi Galvani. So they share the same name, but not only that, right? Luigi Galvani also passed away on December the 4th. Okay. Now, this also occurred in 2024. So we're talking about recent events as well. Okay. The movie is set to launch this year, the remake of Frankenstein, who Galvani also inspires the character of Frankenstein with like, oh, it's alive, bringing shit back to life, and as well as the mad scientist trope. Okay. It's I'm just saying, y'all, it's a lot. Okay. And then lastly, let's talk about the Charlie Kirk situation. Okay. Now, Charlie Kirk actually passed away on September the 10th, which is a day after Luigi is born. But also, with that being said, there's this book that allegedly came out or was supposed to have been come out. Like there's a glitch on the website, I guess. But September the 9th, there's this book that talks about the unaliving of Charlie Kirk on the same date that Galvani is born. And we're talking about a situation, like I think of all of the situations that are occurring because, like, people will live without a latte, right? However, this situation gets people real hot, real quick, real tempered, real like a lot of things. I've seen so much occur after this Charlie Kirk situation, I'm like, oh my gosh, right? And this is regarding the galvanization of our freedoms to speak, because he said inflammatory things. He got recognition for it. Okay, that is just what comes with being able to say what you want to say, right? But also at the same time, now that he has lost his life, there are people who are like, now when's enough? When are we going to stop this? When are we going to go back to like human decency? And this is also a human being who did not have the decency to be kind, at least to people, to, to at least offer that type of, anyway, let's not, because I don't want to go into the semantics. I don't even know if like I'm really, like I said, I think that this is all like a play on people's emotional stimulus anyway. So I have to be very careful when I enter into these territories, right? Because regardless, right, a thing was done, it happened, but for it to have happened on September the 9th, this is also very close to a date of the eclipse, which is a lot of energy about transforming. That's a turning point in America. I made these points also in my second video as well. I'm just kind of going over it again because it's just a lot, okay? So you mean to tell me like dude from the Starbucks dude, Mangione and Kirk all have this correlation with Luigi Galvani? That's just, I don't believe in that many coincidences, right? But I will say that when it comes to the freedom of speech, particularly that we think about like just being able to say things like the censorship, the whole Kimmel situation getting fired, right? It's it's just a lot in respect to how the energy of the world responded in so many ways, regard in the way that we were galvanized too with this, because it wasn't just like, oh my gosh, like, am I questioning if somebody should have been hurt like that, right? Because that's if these events are not designed or were specifically not designed around this date, maybe not, maybe they just look like random events, but like it's looking like something else, y'all, because it's looking like things that were intentionally done to trigger up the emotions, right? I can't let them play on my top. I can't let them play on my top. I don't want them to play on anybody's top, really, right? Because all that time, right? Like the person is kind of getting away with the bag. Now, shout out to Galvani, right? I don't know, like, all of this man's story and stuff like that, but I can only imagine like what that's like walking around knowing that you kind of pull the wool over people's eyes so that because you understand how their mind works, right? Now, of course, if I'm going to project in this moment, right, I would totally not try to like dominate or, like manipulate the world. It's totally being my BYTCH, of course, and doing all the things I want them to do and making their life harder. I wouldn't do that, right? But I am not like the world, right? Hey, I just have to understand that there are people and things around that will play on the way that the natural mind works and processes things and use that to their advantage, right? So all that being said, I'm just thinking that the Starbucks situation is another thing to tie into the galvanizing. In fact, let me say this so I can quit rambling so much. I think what I should do is just gather all the events because I want to have this archive because right now this is a little bitty baby channel and I'm cool with that, right? The growth shall come. But that being said, right, I just want a place to kind of have everything like locked in so that people can really see and like stack the evidence because this is just too much of a coincidence, okay? I don't know who you playing with, but like, no. Clocked it, okay? And in fact, maybe it's a reach, okay? Maybe. I'll throw the bone out there. Possibly, right? But I would love to know what you guys think who are checking it out and who are listening. Let me know your thoughts. If you want to share it, totally, right? We're gonna do some growth things. I'm really close to being able to like live stream, so I'm thinking I'm going to tap into that as well. Okay. I don't know, I'm just rambling a little bit, right? So let me kind of dial it back a little bit so I can get us up out of here, y'all. I'm just saying, y'all, it's a lot of things that is going on, okay? But with all that being said, because I'm trying to get a little bit more comfortable at this content thing, I want to thank you for stopping by. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for taking the time to share space. And let me know, like, what this at any time that you're getting this, right? What do you think? What's up with this, right? Am I onto something or am I like a crazy lady? Anyway, you all take care. Bye.